So I teach divine embodiment, and I think maybe folks are asking themselves, what the heck is divine embodiment? So that's why I'm recording this video, to clue you all in on what exactly is divine embodiment. I am lucky enough to be born in the body of a woman, from the body of a woman, and embodying feminine, the divine feminine, as well as the divine masculine sometimes. But all I'm saying is I'm lucky enough to be a woman, and so a lot of my messaging is geared toward women. I think that men can definitely benefit from these lessons, but you kind of have to translate in your mind a little bit because of the terms that I'll be using that may not be comfortable or applicable for you, and that's okay. Diversity is a big thing in our bioculture, and we don't give enough credit to the diversity, the incredible range of possibility that exists all around. But I digress. Divine embodiment. So to start thinking about divine embodiment, I invite you to bring to mind, to remind yourself, to remember a time when you were young, when you had some super delicious type of food, something that was really yummy. For me, fresh apricots remind me of a time when I was young and feeling really happy. So that the taste of ripe, fresh apricots. Also for me, fresh mango. I'm obsessed with mango, although I actually got to like it kind of later on in life. When I was a kid, we didn't have mango in Russia. But as an adult, as a grown-ass woman, I appreciate me some mango. So you might hate mango, but for you it might be sweet corn, might be chocolate ice cream, watermelon. Love watermelon. So you might think of one, you might think of a few, and you could stick with the multitude or choose a singularity. And just closing your eyes for a second, thinking about that food, that experience, that feeling of having a plate of whatever is your choice in front of you, and noticing your belly area right now, checking in with the belly to just see what you're feeling there. What is your gut telling you? What is the feeling? And it's not something you could put a finger on, right? How do you put a finger on a metaphor? But as we feel the belly and allow ourselves to sink into that feeling of whatever the delicious item that we selected to focus our meditation on. I have to put a parenthesis here. The parenthesis is the belly is a highly programmed area. So if you think about it, particularly as women, but also as men in our culture, we've gotten so so much programming about the belly, about what the belly should look like, about what it should feel like, about mostly about making it disappear, right? Like pretending like there's no belly there. And these are nefarious programs that are in place within the matrix in order to keep the population enslaved and under control, metaphorically speaking. So this didn't come from you. This didn't come from your divine self, your true self. This is programming that was laid on. So when we do this exercise, we kind of have to go through this layer, uh, this firewall, this obstruction of justice. And the way we go through it is we continue to send in the body positive programming and the freedom programming and the abundance program. We continue running and upgrading those programs to counteract the malware that has been put in place. And we all have it. We're all here in 3D as part of this matrix, so we all have this programming. It just is up to you whether you choose to continue to run it or not. You can just let it lie dormant, and every time you get that little pop-up, you're like, close it. Nope. Thoughts like I'm fat, thoughts like I hate my belly, thoughts like I wish my belly was smaller, thoughts like that about any body part. These are not thoughts that are coming from your true divine self, from your true knowing of the incredible, unlimited nature of your being, right? So whenever we notice thoughts like that, we know it's these nefarious programs running, and that gives us a clue to disregard it, to just flick it away. So flick, 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 flick. There'll be a few. Just flick them away. And you might ask yourself, why is there all this programming related to the belly? Well, the belly is the seat of our power. So the more we try to ignore it, and the more we pretend like it's not there, or we wish there was less of it, the farther we're placing ourselves from our own divine freedom and power. So, so coming back to that meditation, that was the end of my parentheses. Coming back to that meditation on the belly and its power. Feeling the feeling of joy, of bliss, of excitement, of happiness, those high frequency, high vibrational feelings. Bringing to mind, a favorite experience from the past, such as a food, or just anything that brings you joy. This can be anything. This meditation is very open-ended. Bringing to mind whatever gives you joy and feeling that energy in your belly and recognizing that energy as your divinity and your power. That is source. That is spirit inside of you. That feeling when you're in love, when your whole body is glowing, that's because your whole body is filled up with your divine self. And when you give birth, the feeling of giving birth and the absolute love, explosion, blossoming that happens between you and this being that a minute ago was inside of you and now is outside of you, separate from you. If that is not godly, I don't know what is. Those of you who have given birth can relate, I'm sure. So this is our meditation. This is our beginnings of getting a taste of embodied divinity. And the more often we practice this, the more often we bring attention and awareness to the feeling of divinity and holiness inside the physical body, inside this meat suit, this cute meat suit vehicle that we're all lucky enough to have. There's this being a human is an extremely lucky occurrence. In Buddhist cosmology, there's a story that to be born into this realm, this human realm, is the odds are a blind sea turtle who only comes up for air once every 100 years, and a small round disc, like the safety ring, that's thrown into the water somewhere in the midst of a great wide ocean. And the chances of your manifesting in the human realm are the same as this blind turtle coming up for air once every 100 years and poking his head up through the ring somewhere in a great, humongous ocean. So those are the odds, right? So we gotta consider ourselves pretty lucky to be on this planet, to get to experience 3D reality. It is so precious and magical to be here. And yeah, we get to experience the whole range of emotions and thoughts and states of mind, body, and heart. This practice, divine embodiment, is a practice of continuing to deepen your relationship with your divine self and opening to a bigger and more luminous experience in this body on this planet. Thank you so much for listening. Blessed be.